Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spock with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've actually got a fairly large haul this week, so let's get started. Kicking things off, we've got X-Men number 9. So where we left off, the X-Men took on MODOK, who was using a cruise ship as a means of testing a new bioagent. So the issue begins. We've got 3 separate councils meeting: the Quiet Council of Krakoa, the Great Ring of Arakko, and the Orcus Council. With a debate over the merits of basically declaring all-out war on Orcus being debated on Krakoa, and a similar debate happening on Arakko, seeing as how the seeing as how Orcus has put a base very close to, or right on Arakko's doorstep, and well, the leadership of Orcus is discussing what to do next. Though, of course, there's the fact that there's a slight snag in their plans. As it turns out, the report about Mutant Resurrection did not end up wasn't made. But Orcus decides to break MODOK out of prison. Apparently Dr. Stasis is a bit of a fan. And yeah, we learn more of the official strategy heads when it comes to Orcus. Aaliyah Gregor for research development. Infrastructure and influence was Henry Pierre Garrick, but is now Abigail Brand. Operations and offense is Fei Long. Human resources is Dr. Stasis. Sociology and modeling and culture and narrative are still unrevealed. And the central column is Dr. Devo. So, it seems that Storm has found a means of communicating with Arakko, or at least Arakko has found a way to make his communications known to her, and namely because Arakko's voice, Redroot, was taken prisoner during Ten of Swords. In space, let's see, Oblitus, a patchwork wound forged from scavenged ships and space stations, and somewhat of a replacement for Nowhere. Gambit and Rogue show up, bringing gifts for Cosmo and his chimpanzee friend. But it turns out they're not the first to arrive from Krakoa, as Destiny is also there. Destiny explains that the bar they're in does not hold the answers that Rogue and Gambit seek, but, well, Rogue and Gambit decide they're going to ask questions anyway. buy a few drinks, see what can be learned. This becomes a bar fight. Which Destiny makes a point of getting as far away from as possible. But turns out that Destiny is not a big fan of Gambit at all. To the point where she tells Remy that when she learned that Rogue married, as she puts it, a bumpkin thief from the bayou, she asked the Five to kill her again. But the fight continues. They get no information. And Gambit has a good point to make to Destiny that both Remy as well as Destiny love Rogue, Remy's love doesn't have strings attached to it. And as she walks off, Destiny kind of just holds her hand and says, "Hate you." The Quiet Council vote when it comes to war on Orcus. Sebastian Shaw, Exodus, and Magneto voted yes. Red Queen, White Queen, Nightcrawler, Colossus, and Storm voted no. And Sinister, Mystique, Destiny, and Xavier were abstentions. Apparently, Bishop said that now he knows who he needs to work on. Also, it turns out that Sunfire is making a home on Arakko, and Storm comes to visit him, and they talk, and apparently a tree has grown, which appears to have Redroot's face on it. And so, it appears that Arakko is wanting Redroot retrieved from Otherworld. And that is where the issue ends. A good issue. The stuff with Rogue, Destiny, and Mystique and Gambit was by far the high point of the issue. And MODOK, the bits with MODOK were also quite fun. So yeah. Anyway, like I said, solid issue. It's been a good run. Jerry Dugan's X-Men run has been good so far. A nice follow-up to John Hickman's. Which brings us to our next book, Fantastic Four number 41, continuing the Reckoning War. Where we left off, the Human Torch had stormed off to where was the name of that damn planet? Spire, just the homeworld of Sky, his briefly betrothed, while the rest of the FF went into Shi'ar space to protect the M'Kraan crystal from agents of the Reckoning. The Watcher was sounding the call for the rest of the Watchers to get involved because, well, their sins have come back to haunt them, as the Reckoning is distributing Watcher-level technology throughout to warlike races throughout the cosmos. And we also learned in the last issue that the Watcher core that Ms. Fantastic used to learn about the Reckoning, it's melting his mind, and he has about 3 days to live. So we begin on planet T-37X, homeworld to the Watchers, who want to basically plead for them to help, or for them to get involved, and is not only refused, but imprisoned. In Shi'ar space, She-Hulk, The Thing, Jagapars, and Mr. Fantastic go after a couple agents of the Reckoning, though it turns out that one of them was... The Thing saw one of them kill him in a vision of his death. but and she does manage to get, and this member of the Reckoning does manage to get a solid strike on the thing after having first destroyed his wedding ring. But they go to the Emcron Crystal, and She-Hulk begins to realize why she's so important to the whole thing. On Spire, the Annihilation Wave is attacking, and the battle is not going. Seems to be kind of evenly matched between the Annihilation Wave and the Unparalleled, the heroes of Spire. But they see a massive light in the sky, and begin to wonder when they got a third sun. That third sun, however, turns out to be none other than the Human Torch, who saves Sky from Annihilus and rips off Annihilus's cosmic control rod. Tells Annihilus and his forces to leave, but their ships stay. And it turns out that the leader of the Unparalleled is now Sky's betrothed to her former betrothed before Johnny came along. But the Unparalleled also joked that they may have to come up with a new name because what Johnny did against against Annihilus, that was unparalleled. Elsewhere, in Asgard, the Heralds have all shown up to resurrect Annihilus, or to resurrect Galactus. It is a call they cannot help but heed. And in fact, even the King of Asgard, Thor, feels compelled to aid in the resurrection of Galactus. And another herald approaches, however. The Destroyer. The Destroyer armor was, in fact, once a herald. And the Destroyer armor bond opens and expands, and Galactus goes from being the devourer to the destruction. But the Silver Surfer has the one thing that can draw the Destroyer's or the Destruction's attention: the Ultimate Nullifier, and he leads the Destruction to save eternity and stop the reckoning. And that is where the issue ends. I'm really loving the Reckoning War. It'll be very interesting to see where things go from in the Marvel Universe as a whole from there. Anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Star Wars, number 21. So this picks up on a plot point from some older story arcs that were published before I got into the new Marvel X books. There was an assault on the Star Destroyer Tarkin's Will by Starlight Squadron, and one of the members of Starlight Squadron, Shara Bell, survived the assault and infiltrated the ship. It should be noted that Shara is, in fact, the mother of future Resistance hero Poe Dameron. But so Shara's disguised as a stormtrooper, and she sends a transmission from a data hub, runs into an Imperial officer who chides her for wearing damaged armor. But there are parts of the ship where she's made a hidey hole and something of a home place where she can hide out within damaged sections of the Star Destroyer. And she sends 2 messages to the rebellion. One has the latest data she could gather on locations and capability of the Imperial Hunter Fleet. And then there's also one for her husband, Kel. Turns out that the Tarkin's will had been damaged when the Death Star was destroyed. And all of the injured, all of the wounded soldier, Imperial officers, troopers, and whatnot aboard the ship who died in various attacks have been left where they fell. And in fact, the ship hasn't gone in for repairs, so it's still going. It basically has a damaged sections just kind of cordoned off, making it easy for Shara to hide within. That's also how she got some damaged stormtrooper armor. She gets information wherever she can and passes it along. The captain of the ship, Commander Zara, is informed of another transmission, and she's beginning to realize that perhaps they thought they had killed a rebel, they destroyed A-Wing from so-called Starlight Squadron. They thought that took out the pilot too, but it seems that perhaps the pilot survived and is hiding within the ship. But Shara has a rescue plan. Has a not so much a rescue plan, but a means of escaping. So she gets a ship. She manages to have a shuttle transferred to maintenance, and but before she can leave with the shuttle, Commander Zara finds her and declares Shara to be quite possibly the most arrogant rebel she's ever met. And she's met Luke Skywalker. But Zara stabs Shara and explains that she's going to survive this battle, and then she's going to tell Commander Zara all about how she managed to hide within the ship, and so many other things too. Back with the Rebel fleet, Kel and his Pathfinder squad, as well as the rest of the Starlight Squadron, decide they're going on a rescue mission to save Shara, and that is where the issue ends. The Shara Bell's fate has been mentioned a few times within the issues since I started reading the Marvel Star Wars books, so it's nice to actually see that kind of picked up on, and kind of giving also a here's what happened. Anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Alien number 10. Where we left off, the survivors of the Spinner Colony were trying to escape the aliens. Jane is getting worse as they travel. They make it to their location, which includes the mines, and they're trying to see if there are any other survivors, but they found a truck to get to the Gamma site. But one of the survivors doesn't want to leave without. One of the survivors doesn't want to leave without a specific colonist, and so he takes a gun from one of them and runs in the cave to look. Of course, the cave is where the hive is, and we discover yet another xenomorph form, small and able to kind of gestate within and pop out through the mouth. But the rest of the survivors go in, and one of the slugs gets into one survivor, and Jane is staring down to the other creatures as the issue ends. The end of it, these various ones have been getting good. I'm really hoping we finally get some, I don't know, connection between our first arc and this arc, aside from just it's the same universe. I feel like there was a lot of dangling plot threads from that first arc. So, yeah. Moving on to our next book, we've got Magic the Gathering number 12. We got this Planeswalker Gabrielle on the Hidden Spark variant. Gabrielle actually popped up in the last issue, trying to help Tybalt gain the take control, reawaken Volrath's stronghold. So we open in Urborg, Dominaria, where the stronghold crashed. Planeswalker Nico, as well as fellow Planeswalkers Chandra and Garruk, are enjoying drinks while Nico explains what his whole thing is. He's trying to find Kaya. They met on Kaldheim, and but he can't seem to get to her. But we find out that Nico is from Theros. And he explains that when he was born, he was given a destiny. When he grew up, he cast that destiny aside, which angered Klothys, the god of destiny. And but he decided that the only fate he was interested in following was when he decreed for himself. And when thought he had escaped Klothys' imaginations, he saw the specter of death. And so he figures since Kaya can kill ghosts, well, he should kill the specter of death. But find out that every time that Chandra's tried to planeswalk to Ravnica, she gets spit out elsewhere, including once on Ikoria. So she tried to find another way if she can't planeswalk there. And it turns out that both Garruk and Nico have issues with Tybalt. Garruk explains that Tybalt offends him, adding that death is simply a natural part of life. He does not shrink from it, nor does he fear it. But Tybalt kills for joy. He slaughters that which is wild and beautiful, not for food and not to defend himself, purely because it is wild and beautiful, for the sake of cruelty. Adding that he knows what it's like to be made into a monster, but Tybalt made himself into one. And everyone's just, okay, that's fine. Yeah, we got no problem taking out Tybalt. But Chandra suggests they work together. They get Tybalt. Tybalt tells them how to get to Ravnica. Garruk kills him. Whatever. Chandra doesn't care. She finds her friends. Nico gets his specter of death sorted out. Everyone gets what they want. Nico states that he always preferred solo sports, but he likes the sound of this, and Garruk states that pack hunters are always formidable. And Chandra fist bumps both of them, as you know. However, there's a slight wrinkle. Tybalt has a means of covering his scent, making it harder for Garruk to hunt him. He explains that Tybalt's trail will disappear, then reappear days later. Nico asks what to do while they wait for Groot to pick up the scent, but and Chandra suggests that they keep looking elsewhere, and they end up at Zendikar. It's explained that they checked out the stronghold. That's one place. That's one list of crazy, powerful ancient machines, which brings them to Emeria, the Sky Ruin on Zendikar. Meanwhile, on Ravnica, we'll learn momentarily that it's Ravnica. Davriel and Tybalt are talking, trying to figure out how they're going to tell their employer that they didn't get the stronghold. And their employer is revealed to be none other than Niv Mizzet, the Fire Mind. And that is where the issue ends. That was definitely unexpected. Though, to be fair, if there's anyone on Ravnica that could come up with a means of blocking planeswalkers from entering the plane, I could see it being Niv Mizzet. But definitely see how that plays out. And just why Niv Mizzet. I mean, aside from maybe wanting to keep planeswalkers out because planeswalkers cause more trouble. Have caused a lot of trouble on the plane, especially recently. Yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying live long and rock hard.